It's your call with John Penny and Dwayne Long.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I see that shirt a lot.
Yes. I like to wear it every show.
Yeah, it
Just
looks
about.
good. But I would wear that too if I was the top football team in America.
Well, I'm proud of my Chiefs.
You should be.
They're a great team.
You shouldn't be proud of your achievements, though. I'll tell you that.
Achievement? Watch out. Hey, if I wanted comedy, I'd go somewhere else.
Yeah, a lot higher price.
Oh, wait a second.
Okay.
No, you're more like Calamity, not comedy. Calamity.
Well, what do we do? Oh, we're going to do the second half of our football picks.
That's right. This week we are talking the NFC division of the National Football League.
National Football League. Boy, you remember that guy's voice? The one that did the football. He would talk about the replays and stuff like that. He was running down the line. You know, he had that great voice for so long in the NFL.
Gee, I wonder what his name was.
Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
I don't either.
Oh, well, but he had a great
Call
voice.
us in on the line today and
you-
let us know.
If you personally know the man whose
Oh, it
voice-
was famous. He was famous. He's Hall of Fame.
He is.
Yeah, and his son is going to be Hall of Fame.
I didn't know
His son
that.
does that. His son took over for him.
Not Jack Buck.
Jack Buck will never be in the Football Hall of Fame
Was it?
unless he does a Mighty Mike game or something.
You know, I really don't know who you're talking about,
Okay.
and I don't
No
remember.
problem.
I don't remember the guy.
I
who
was,
does that.
I was seeing if you did know.
Well, see, you're a young whippersnapper.
Let's get into this thing.
Well, hey, I used to love the Dallas Cowboys.
You don't love him anymore?
I don't love them anymore. My
Okay.
love has gone away.
To the
for the
Chiefs,
Dallas
and which is a good trade right now.
Yeah, I'll take a Patrick Mahomes over a Dak Prescott any day. But
I think Dak is injury prone, and I you know, there's a point where you get hurt bad one time, and then you're out of football.
yeah, and I think sometimes you can get hurt, and it's still back here in the back of your head, and you worry about that.
You know, I told you one time about I performed comedy at the Hall of Fame members, the Western Division. They were all out there. The old Hall of Fame members are still alive and stuff. You've never seen so many people walk with limps in your life.
Oh, I know.
I mean, some of them, like Earl Campbell, had to be helped in basically. I mean, it's a tough game.
Yeah, I've seen you walk. I think you played professional football, didn't you?
No, I just walk into things. I was a fighter.
I know you didn't play professional football. I got a pretty good limp myself, and I didn't play
football.
professional football. Anyway, for the NFC East division, I tell you that's a tough division because last year they all had losing records,
Yep.
every team. So it's a hard one to pick. But
But I'll tell you who you don't pick. Well, let's go from number 4 to number 1 this
hey,
time.
there you go. Hey, that'd be fun.
I think we both got the same team.
You think it might be Dallas?
You think Dallas is going to be number 4? I got the Giants as number 4.
You think the Giants are going to be number 4?
Yeah.
Well, I'm concerned about the Cowboys because I think we don't know how Dak is going to perform.
Right.
And Ezekiel Elliott didn't have a very good season last year. He wasn't very good. They still got some good wide receivers. But I think it all just depends upon how Dak is able to recover from his
The day
injury.
Dallas goes 4th in the division will be the day that Jerry sells them. I mean,
well, that'll be a great day.
I can't imagine him going 4th. I can't.
The sooner Jerry leaves the league, the happier I'll be.
Well, a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, and I think most of his players. I think probably feel that way.
So number 2 I have the Dallas Cowboys.
You have Dallas for number 2.
No,
Number 3.
wait. Yeah, number 3 I have Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Right.
They got a new quarterback, Jalen
Right.
Hurst.
And
What
he
do you
will
think?
be hurt by the end of the show.
Why?
By the end, because he's going to get hurt
You mean by the end of the football
by
season?
the end of the football season.
Not by
yes.
the end of this show.
No. Well, it could be.
We could be hurt.
He could trip over something.
We might be hurt by the end of the football season or the show.
Who do you have number 3?
Number 3, I'd go Giants probably. I think Philadelphia. I think the Giants again with they've got Daniel Jones as their quarterback, but I just don't know if they've got the wide receiver crew to work with them. I think it's going to be tough for the Giants.
Isn't it bad when your college football team wide receivers are better than your pro football team's wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, I know they've added some people on their team, but one of them's injured. Kenny Holiday, I think, is still injured. But they are getting back Saquon Barkley, the running back. He's
Good
been
player.
injured all last year.
Yeah, he's
set
a good
out,
player when he can play.
and so they could be an imposing team for that division.
Okay, number 2. Who's number 2?
Number 2, I like the Washington football team.
See,
number
I
2.
think the Cowboys are going to come in second.
I just don't see that happening.
Oh, well, it was your team. I know that. I mean, that was your team since I knew you first for 38 years. That was your team.
Yeah, but they had decent coaches, and
Right.
they had a decent. Was Jerry James wasn't the original
Jerry
owner. It
Jones?
was, Jerry Jones, yeah, was not the original owner. So
Yeah, he was.
no, Tex Graham was the original owner back in the days of Tom Landry and that group of people.
Okay.
Roger Staubach and all that.
Roger. Okay.
But
I
but
know.
anyway, I just think that they've got some weaknesses that other teams will exploit, even in that division.
Well, who you got as number 1 then?
I think the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think Washington football team.
I think it's going to be tough for both those teams because, again, like I said, they both had losing records last year. Washington.
What's Washington's name?
The football team.
No, they have a real name now.
They do?
Yes.
I did not know that. I hadn't heard that.
I can't remember the name of it either because it's stupid.
The
We are changing everything, and it's stupid.
Well, there you go. Washington allowed 21 points a game last season on defense, and
Well, maybe that's why the Indians don't want them to be.
to be honest, I don't even know who their quarterback is going to be. I think it's Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be his quarterback. I think. I know his name is Ryan.
How about NFC North? See, I know more about the North. I'm going with the Packers.
You're going to fourth, number
Oh,
four.
Number 4, I'll go with the Minnesota Vikings.
I'll go with the Lions.
Lions.
Tell me about the
That's
Vikings.
what I should have gone to the Lions. I should have gone to the Lions, but I don't like Minnesota. I
Too cold.
since they it is we were going to move up here one time, my wife and I, and said no. My wife said no.
That's good.
I don't think Minnesota's got the team. I don't like their offense, and I think their defense is pretty good. But they've always been tough defense-wise.
Yeah, I don't think they have the quarterback. I don't think they have the offensive players. I like the Philadelphia Eagles rather, primarily because I think they brought in.
Are we on the North?
Are we on the North?
No.
You know what? You are right. We are on the North. I did that last show also.
Yes.
So anyway,
And you
we're
said I
talking-
made all the mistakes.
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings. So where we are,
Who's your 4th team?
my fourth team is going to be Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah,
And Detroit. I don't see anything that they're going to. I mean, 3rd and 4th, I don't care about because they're not going to make the playoffs. And then and in Detroit, you can switch either one of those two teams, and it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah, here's the problem with Detroit. They're almost like they're in a rebuilding year. They switched quarterbacks with the Los Angeles Rams. So you've got Matthew Stafford is now the quarterback for the Rams, and Jared Goff is the quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Now, they both have years of experience. They're both veteran quarterbacks. But in their respective teams that they played for before, they didn't do nothing with those teams. So how do I expect them to do anything with their new team?
I think Detroit's got a lot of problems. Number one is getting to the game safely when you're driving through downtown Detroit.
That's the reason.
You know, they're trying to
What is
pot
that?
shot. They're trying to pot shot the quarterbacks, man.
Are you talking about the players having a hard time getting to the game?
I'm talking about live, getting there live.
Live. Okay, that's a rough place. I
You know, a rough place.
How rough is it?
It's so rough. The Steelers won't play there.
Oh, that's not good. Then I've got the Bears and.
But what a great player the Steelers got. That running back. Oh man, this is never mind.
Steelers. We're on the north.
I know, but what a great.
And
we got from Detroit. We got that running back that. Oh, he bashed through the lines. He get touchdowns. He's one that fumbled that fumble that they almost lost the game in the playoffs. And he tackled the guy.
What year was this?
Oh, when they won the Super Bowl. So it's been a while.
Well, actually, I thought we were talking 2020.
Well, let's go for that. Where are we at? NFC North. I said Detroit Lions.
Right. The Bears, second place.
Second place.
They've
Okay.
got Justin Fields as their quarterback, although he's not starting.
Well, that's what I heard.
They are letting Andy Dalton start.
Are you sure?
Yes. So
Wow.
they're letting the loser from Cincinnati, Andy Dalton, and the loser from the Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboys.
but
Andy
he
Dalton.
was not. He could have been a winner. I don't think Cincinnati. I do not say putting a team in Cincinnati around him makes him a loser. I never want him as my quarterback, but I thought he was a pretty decent quarterback. So who have you got? We both got Green Bay as number one.
Yeah, Green Bay is,
But you know something? I am really sick of the quarterback.
Oh, you don't like Aaron?
I'm sick of it.
Did Aaron hurt your feeling?
No, it didn't hurt my feelings because I can't stand him now. I mean, the first time I saw him throw a pass is when he got in the game and their old quarterback,
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre. Brett was playing the game and he stepped out and Rodgers came in and he started throwing these passes and I think I called you and Jeff both up and I said, who is this quarterback? This guy's got an arm.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's got a great arm. And he just let me down.
Yeah, well, sometimes players get big heads. They get big egos, and they figure out. No, I'm not talking about you. Big players, big egos, and so they do things and they say things that just hit the fans the wrong way, and so he's kind of hit me the wrong way too. But
He's a great player.
Okay, I'll give you an example. You liked Pete Rose, but you didn't like what Pete Rose did.
Right.
And I like Aaron Rodgers, but I don't like what he's done.
But I would never keep Aaron Rodgers out of the Hall of Fame. I would Pete Rose.
Yeah, well, Pete Rose, that's a
Different thing.
different thing.
But
I'm just talking about your likes and dislikes.
but he was loved in Green Bay. Loved. And all of a sudden, I say half the fans are upset about what happened this whole year. They better win. I will put that.
Yeah.
They better win because that way they may want him back next year.
Yeah,
if they
he's
don't
not
win,
coming
he's
back.
gone.
He's not coming back.
Right. I don't think so either.
He's walking. He'll go to another team, just like Favre did when he left and he went to Minnesota Vikings. So the Packers, we got the Packers in the north. I've got the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I got
the East.
Washington.
And then we have the NFC South. That's a tough division also.
I
It's
think
an
that
easy
might
one to
be the
pick, though.
toughest division in football.
They're tough, but it's easy to pick. My number 4
Oh.
team is going to be the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
I think Matt Ryan is, even though they got that tight end from the University of Florida, Kyle Pitts in, I think that he's still going to have issues with his passing game. Julio Jones is gone. He's gone to another
It's
team.
Julio.
Julio, Julio.
No, Julio Holmes. Just kidding. Anyway,
Okay. So I pick Atlanta to be the 4th place team in that division.
I got him down as last place also.
Then why were you mocking me when I chose them as the last place team?
I just thought it'd be fun.
Well, it wasn't.
Number 3, I've got the Saints.
The Saints,
They're marching in.
they're marching in
Third place.
into 3rd place. Well, that's not a good place to be. Yeah, I guess their quarterback is going to be Jameis Winston.
And you know, he's not a bad quarterback.
Not a bad
I mean,
quarterback. Not a good
I
quarterback.
hope, but he's got one more chance. This is his chance.
This is it.
You got to do it. I don't want to hear about it. Well, he's a great running back. He's right this. Hey, here's your shot.
He's not an elite quarterback.
Oh man, when you start talking about elite quarterbacks, people leave people out, and they get upset. But go ahead. What else you got? Third
Then we've got
or second?
second. My second team is the Carolina Panthers.
Mine too.
I think they've got I think Sam Darnold is going to do a really good job as their quarterback. He was traded to them
Mhm.
from the Jets.
Right.
So
And he's going to go to another team and win all of a sudden.
right. And I think that's a formula that a lot of quarterbacks have had, where they haven't played well at their original team, but then they go to another team.
And
Bay,
we
what
both
can you
got
say about
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah. Except that I would not be surprised if they did it again. I really wouldn't. I don't want them to, but I think they would do it again.
They brought back all 22
Starters, 22 starters.
22 starters. That's a big move.
Do you see when Pittsburgh was playing, when they were winning Super Bowls, they won that 4th Super Bowl, and all of a sudden guys started leaving.
Yeah.
When Chicago Bears 1985 won that Super Bowl, they lost 7 or 8 players off that team, went somewhere else because they made a lot more money. Man, you were the world champions.
Right.
You were the champions of football. And you left?
Yeah, you leave and then you go to another team
That has no shot almost.
has no shot at winning the Super Bowl or even getting into
for
the
the
playoffs.
for the money. And nowadays, it's even better nowadays than it was then. I mean, back then, the money was tighter. Now, the money's just coming through the ceiling.
Yeah. And so no doubt Tampa Bay has got everything they needed from last year coming back this year. Here's the problem that I see with it. You're a little bit older. Tom Brady's 44.
Okay, now Brady, this team is right.
Yeah, they're older, and they got Gronkowski. They've got some other players that have aged also, and Gronk wasn't the same Gronk as he was
No,
in the previous years. So,
but Brady was it. Brady came through when he needed to come through. He reached back and said, "I can do this. I can beat this team," and he did it. I could not believe it that he did it, but he did. And I kept telling people, "You got to be careful of Brady. You got to be careful of Brady." Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of him. Well, not that game.
well, you've got like I said before, Gronkowski. You got Jason Pierre-Paul defense, Levante David on defense, Ndamukong Suh on defense. They're all older, getting a little bit long in the tooth, a little older.
Brady, unless they protect him completely, is going to get hit on his 44-year-old legs sometime. 44 may be the, listen, I've gotten over, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, it's just hard to say about anybody else.
Have you gotten over Deflategate?
No, not especially. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he hasn't done some stupid stuff, but he is a great, great quarterback.
And he'll be a great ambassador
at
for
44.
football.
At 44, he played that way. At 43 last year, he played that way. I mean, Lord, I mean, what a player!
Do you think he'll play again next year? Is he coming back at 45?
He says he wants to. And I mean, I think it'll be one of the greatest things of ever in sports.
If he can avoid injury and if he can avoid
I didn't say that because
if he can avoid some of these injuries and also games where he may not perform well, I think he'll come back.
Oh, I do too. I think this. I think if they have a bad year this year or a so-so year, he might not come back. His wife wants him to quit. She said that more than once.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see Tom Brady Monday and Tuesday.
He's in the whirlpool.
Do you remember that football movie where Mac shouldn't have done this, but it was a football movie it's supposed to be about the Dallas Cowboys and their coach, and they had arguments and fights all the time and stuff like that. Do you remember that movie at all?
Can't recall it.
It was a great movie, and that Nick Nolte was in the movie, and he got out of the bed. He got out of the bed, and he was only 40, and every bone, and he did his shoulder, you know. And I started laughing because when I boxed, when I had a 12-round fight, it wasn't the next day that I was really, really sore. It was the day after that. It all set in. And many a day I couldn't roll out of bed. I had to like push myself out of bed.
Well, that's
and I wasn't 45.
You know, that's probably the case with a lot of those older players that when they, after a game, it probably takes at least a day or two to recover.
Yeah, I would. That's why you got to let those older guys have at least 2 days off.
Yeah, then come back on Wednesday
Right.
and start practice for the next week. Okay, we're down to the NFC West division.
NFC West. Okay, this I don't think we're going to agree on this one. I want to go with the Rams.
As your number 4? Or as
Wait. Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
Number 4.
As your number 4. And my number 4, well, it'll probably be the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Because I think that's a tough division. It's a very tough division for all 4 teams. It just depends on, you know, whether or not Kyle Murray can come back and be the quarterback he needs to be.
You know, a lot of people in Arizona hate their owner.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, but they do. You know, the other thing about Arizona is the fact that they have brought in some new wide receivers. And A.J. Green used to be with the Bengals, now with the Cardinals. And, of course, on defense, they added J.J. Watt.
Right.
And he's a monster.
But see, Arizona, I would not say most of the people, but a lot of the people are people who moved to Arizona. And they like the Rams. They like New York Jets or the Giants. They like Florida. Well, not Florida, but they like places that they grew up in. Cincinnati, Chicago. I mean, cold places. Now they're out there in Arizona, and they're not particularly Arizona fans.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a tough sell out there. You
Yeah,
know, I would never. I mean, folks, I'm sorry. This sounds redundant, maybe. I love the Steelers. I'll always love the Steelers. It doesn't matter if they're 1-15. I still love the Steelers.
You won't watch their game.
I'll be disappointed in them very, but I love the Steelers, just like you love the Chiefs.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got you've got number 4 as the Cardinals. I've got number 4 as the Cardinals. My third place team would be the Rams, I think. I'm pretty sure the Rams, same problem that Detroit had. They're bringing in another quarterback from another team and maybe having to learn and rebuild another year.
I had the Rams too.
As your number 3?
Mm-hmm.
We're looking an awful lot alike here, John.
So sometimes, well, we've talked to each other so much about football that I think that we switch each other's minds sometimes about stuff.
Well, I'm glad I'm growing on you there, John. Hope you like that, buddy.
Okay, yeah, that was great.
Hey, let's see. So we're down to San Francisco and Seattle Seahawks. We've got who's your number 2? It's a tough one.
I don't particularly like either one of them as teams, but I'd go second would be Seattle Seahawks.
My second is going to be the 49ers. I think that they're going to end up, they got, I can't pronounce the name, the quarterback's name. Garoppolo,
yeah.
Garoppolo.
Yeah, that's right. You got it.
Okay. He will probably be the starting quarterback, but sometime during the course of the year, they drafted.
You're full of Garoppolo. There's no way, man. There's no way. You really believe that? You think Seattle?
I think they're going to bring in Trey. Yes, I think Seattle will be the number 1 team, but
Okay.
I'm picking San Francisco to be number 2 because they've got this new kid, the quarterback Trey Lance. He's got everything you need.
Actually, I got him number 2 also.
When did you change your mind?
About what you told me about that quarterback.
Well, you just stick to you stick to your guns, don't you?
I'm so AFC oriented that I skim over the NFC. I probably shouldn't do that for radio.
I didn't know if you should be oriented.
I'm disoriented a lot.
Yeah. So I'm picking Seattle as my team, and the only reason I'm
number
doing
1 team.
number 1, Seattle would be my number 1 team, and here's the reason: Russell Wilson. He knows how to run an offense, and their team averaged 28 points a game under his leadership. And
How much of the defense?
The defense is probably not their
Strong point, huh?
strong point because they've lost so many people. They've traded away so many people. Yeah, they don't. Seattle doesn't have a pass rush at all. They don't have a pass rush.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Why doesn't
I
it?
don't like Seattle. One time Pittsburgh Steelers beat Seattle in the Super Bowl. They beat them.
Yeah.
I had bought a Pittsburgh Steelers serape in Mexico, and I still got it. It's pretty cool.
Well, you should have wore
It
it.
looked like I should have worn it. It was a little hot, I tell you. Now it's a lot hotter than this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking down the streets of Seattle. I was working on cruise ships. I'm walking down the streets of Seattle. I had this serape on. The guy stopped and goes, "The Steelers suck. Get in front of me. I'll run you over." The game's over, man. The game's over. The Steelers suck. I love that. It made me happy.
Well, I think Seattle. I think a lot of people in Seattle would like to run over you.
Well, yeah, they probably would.
If they watch this show and they see you in Seattle, they'll probably run over you.
They got a great coach. I think they're a tough team. I really do. I think they're a tough team.
They're a tough team.
And,
I think they're going to be tough to deal with.
We never talked about the mental part of this sport, but you've got to have a winning attitude. And that's where I go down on teams like Cleveland, teams like that. And that's why they had to get Tom Brady into Tampa Bay, because he brought that whole attitude around. Even the guys on the team go, we have a shot to win here. We have a shot to win. This is Tom Brady.
Yeah, and they brought in people to build around Tom Brady.
Exactly.
That Tom Brady had played with before.
Yeah, but you thought it was Tom Brady, the only Tom Brady. All of a sudden they get the the wide receiver. I mean, or
They
tight end,
brought
the
in
tight end.
Antonio Brown. They brought in Gronkowski. They brought in a couple other players, and
You
they
can
go
leave,
back and they
you
win
can
the
leave
Super Bowl.
Antonio Brown out of that. He's the ex-Steeler.
I know you don't
thug,
like
a
him.
thug, a dirty guy.
Okay, so here we go. Philadelphia is my number one in the East. Green Bay in the North is my number one. In the South is Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then in the West it is the Seattle Seahawks. And so, what do you got?
I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to go Seattle. No, that's number one.
Right.
Seattle number one, San Francisco number two, Rams number three, and Arizona number four.
Okay, so you're going up the list there. Okay, well, I certainly have the Eagles, the Packers, the Buccaneers, and Seattle Hawks meeting in the playoff, and probably Tampa Bay ending up going to the Super Bowl
Against the Chiefs?
against the Chiefs.
Well, that'll be a great game to watch. I would watch that game if I was on a cruise ship. I'd make sure, or I'd mutiny. You know, one time we had a couple was told from New York City or Philadelphia. No, some team was in the Super Bowl, but it was an East Coast team, and it was probably New England, and they were told when they were on the cruise ship that they would get to see the Super Bowl. And we couldn't get it. We were in a part of the ocean we couldn't get it. Oh man!
I bet there was a lot of people unhappy about
a lot
that.
of people from New England were very unhappy, and oh man, I actually think they ended up giving them free cruises.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well,
To a Super Bowl?
no, yeah, but I think that's what they did was give them free cruise. I mean, it was they were mad. And then I also saw on a cruise ship one time where people got mad because they wanted to stay longer in Canada. So they would just say, we want to stay longer in Canada. They were on the dock and the captain just took off, took the ship, left them there in Canada. That was funny.
I bet.
Unless you were one of those people.
Yes, it would be funny to that anymore.
So I just want to talk for a second.
Time's up.
Time's up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your second is up.
Man. Now we're doing the
What do you want to talk?
I want to talk one time about your favorite, because I do like talk shows and radio shows. And what is your favorite one?
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite one. I think I watch a lot of them. I watch a lot of the different talk shows, the sports talk show, Get Up, with Mike Greenberg and his guests.
Oh,
And I'm not a big fan of Mike Greenberg because number one, he graduated from Northwestern. Number two, I think he threw Mike Golick under the bus when he was with ESPN. But I think probably my favorite, I watch NFL in the mornings, the NFL Network in the morning. So Good Morning Football is a good show. I have some issues with some of the guest hosts they have there. But I guess I enjoy P&I. I enjoy Around the Horn.
PTI?
Pardon the interruption. Yeah, pardon the interruption.
Yeah, that's my favorite one
Yeah.
by far. I never miss it. I tape every episode. Even if I'm on the road, I'll tape it, have my wife play it back. I have it, leave it alone. And
Well, some of these shows like Jacoby and Jalen and Jacoby, all about basketball, and I'm not in the NFL.
wasn't Jalen the guy they called the timeout? No,
No, that was another guy.
It was another guy.
Yep.
He was thinking about it though.
Yeah.
I do like Dan Patrick's show. I used to love Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann together.
Yes. Mhm.
I can't stand Keith Olbermann by himself because his ego is bigger than anybody's. Anybody
Yes, it
else,
is.
anybody that does sports, Keith Olbermann has got a huge ego,
He does.
and he's not. He
Never,
throws people
never
under
liked
the,
Keith Urban that much.
He throws people under the bus left or right. Companies. He throws companies under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Fox, this. But I will tell you, folks, don't do this because I don't want you to waste your time. But I work and I listen to radio at work, and if I listen to sports, and they have Fox Network at night from like 1:30, 2:30 on, 3:30 is just so amateurish, so one of their biggest shows is it a wrestler, is it a professional wrestler or a porn star? So they do somebody's name, and you guess, is it a porn star or a professional wrestler? I mean, I realize my kids shouldn't be up at 3:30 in the morning, even though they're fully grown. But I don't want them. I don't understand, and they don't talk sports.
It's not a sports talk show.
They don't talk.
It's not a sports talk show.
But the whole thing. They had this guy from New York City, this wacky guy from New York, talks about you're from the Bronx, and it's the Bronx, so you talk like you're from the Bronx. I hate you guys. You're terrible. You guys stink. You suck. It's idiotic, and it's like very for like teenagers.
Yeah, I think some of these shows I think are just ridiculous. Like, I don't like First Take because all they do is argue.
Right.
They just argue back and forth. Same thing with
Are you telling me two guys? Are we not examples of that? Two guys that we disagree about a lot, but we do agree on a lot.
Yes, we do. And so you can agree things. Skip and Shannon, Shannon Sharp. You can skip Shannon. Just skip.
Stole
Shannon.
my line.
Just skip. Just skip Shannon. Don't worry. All they do is argue. But like I said, PTI. There's some personalities I just don't like.
You don't like
scream.
PTI?
I like PTI.
Yeah. The African American gentleman. I really, at times, for a while, he was saying things that kind of bugged me, and then I listened to him, and I realized, I understand what he's saying. I understand where he's coming from, and Tony makes me laugh, but Michael is such a big Cub fan, Chicago fan. I just have got to. He's really growing on me.
Yeah,
and
Michael
I like
Wilbon
him.
is a great. I think he does a great job.
He's good. Well, Tony's in the Hall of Fame. Michael will be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, these guys are great.
They do a good job. And hey, but the other thing I want to talk before we get close to the end of the show here, I want to talk about these end zone celebrations that take place. Don't they just drive you nuts?
It's like watching bad amateur hour. Well, you think they had one guy do something immoral to the goalpost one time. I mean, what are you doing? Do you think that's funny? If you think that's funny, don't even go to a comedy club because you wouldn't know what funny is. You're not talented. It's like watching the B team of any kind of a TV show. It's terrible.
Yeah, I just think it takes away from the game. I mean, the game's not about individual celebrations.
Glory. Yeah, well, that one guy, who was that? The guy we'll never remember this guy's name. The guy from the Jets that would stand up and go up and down, jump up and down and stuff like that. And every time he got a tackle, it was just a regular tackle. He'd stand up and be doing this too.
Yeah, I've seen where people tackle somebody and then they try to look like they're trying to hog tie him.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Man,
it just
that's
themselves.
a 15-yard penalty and you're off the field.
And it's delay a game.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's delaying the game. And
of all the things that change your football, that's one of the things I like to see happen.
Yeah, they can make that change real quick.
Yeah, and it would take like 5 seconds, no more.
Yeah, just penalize them if they do anything.
But it takes away from the game. It's not. It takes away from the entertainment. It's not entertainment.
No,
You're in a sport.
It's tomfoolery, is what it is.
That's right. It's not entertainment. You are entertained, but it is not entertainment. It's to play the game to win. Play the game hard. What are you trying to do? Get an audition for ABC?
I don't know. Roger Goodell needs to make a stand and get rid of this antics that take place after a tackle or after a touchdown.
Right, 15 yards immediately. Boom. Throw that flag and let's see it happen.
Roger Goodell, be a man.
There you go. You know, it's been a lot of fun, buddy.
It's
Have fun and
your
still,
call
and it's still your call.
with John Penny
You think it's my
and
call?
Dwayne Long.
I've been carrying this call all the time, man. It's our call. I'll even say that. It's our call.